Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show, not to the listeners and viewers, but to the man right to my right. He came on a few years ago, and we're thrilled to have him back talking about Rick and Morty's return to Adult Swim that happened just a couple of nights ago. Season 4 premiered last Sunday, and it's on every single Sunday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on Adult Swim. Saturday Night Live, and 30 Rock alum Chris Parnell back here on the Rich Eisen Show. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, Rich.
What do you get the most when people say Chris Parnell? What do you hear about the most?
I don't know. There is a lot of Rick and Morty. There's a lot of Archer. There's a lot of Dr. Spichemin.
It's Dr. Spichemin.
Yeah.
From 30 Rock.
From 30 Rock.
That is. I miss 30 Rock.
I do too.
I bet you do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what an amazing, fun show that was.
It was. Now I've heard a rumor that they're doing a spinoff with Ted Danson, but I don't know any details.
A 30 Rock spinoff with Ted Danson?
That's what I've heard, but I don't know if it's true.
Well, let's start it. Like right here. Like let's do it.
It's in a bar.
Honestly, no one's going to hold. No. That's Cheers. We're talking 30 Rock, Chris. Same family, I guess. Right church, wrong pew would be the one right there. We could start it. I don't think we're going to be held accountable.
No.
Here
if we start that rumor.
Now, 30 Rock, you got involved with that through Tina Fey and everybody else from the SNL.
Yeah, Tina Fey and Robert Carlock.
Okay.
Yeah. They. I think they had me in mind for Dr. Spichemin. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'd worked with them for quite a few years at SNL, and
right.
Yeah, I mean, it's what a gift. You know, you don't get to do characters that are that insane that often.
Then just lines that you could just chew up and just have a good time with.
Yeah. Well, you just try to just say them as naturally as possible, because the lines themselves do all the work.
Can you recall one that's one of your favorite Dr. Spichemin lines? Not to put you on the spot, even though, by the way, that's what people do all the time. Not to put you on the spot, even though I'm doing exactly that. Do you remember any of them?
Well, there was something about he was talking to a patient. I don't know if it was Alec Baldwin or who, but he pointed out that no one knows where the human heart is. Just medically, he got a lot of things wrong. A lot of things that, as a doctor, you really should have known.
You should know that sort of thing.
You should know. You should know. Most people know the things that he doesn't know. Yeah.
You don't know where the human heart is whatsoever. Chris Parnell here on the Rich Eisen Show. And again, before we get to Rick and Morty a little bit here, I do want to stroll down a little bit down memory lane with you. It's Saturday Night Live, one of the all-time greatest skits you were in. The cowbell sketch.
Yeah.
What was your recollection of that being put together and then the execution, if you will, of it, Chris?
Well, Will Ferrell wrote it. Technically, the name is Recording Studio.
That's the name of the skit.
That's the name that he put on the sketch, on the script that we read that Wednesday at the table read. And I don't remember the read-through or anything. I'm sure it went well, but I just remember how much fun everybody was having while we were shooting the scene live while it was going on. And I don't know, it was, you can never predict when something's going to be a hit and have the longevity that's had. But with Christopher Walken doing his thing so perfectly, he has such amazing comedic instincts. And he just sold it perfectly, and then Will is hilarious. And yeah.
So how did you get assigned to that? I mean, do you get assigned to it, or
Will, whoever writes the piece or whatever team writes the piece, they cast it,
right?
And unless Lauren has a real objection or something to it, it just kind of is whoever they put in the role. So Will did the casting.
So what do you think? What made everybody crack up the most? Was it Walken's delivery? His halting delivery about how he makes gold-plated records when he wakes up, or that Will's belly began to show because he really laid into the cowbell, Chris? What do you think?
I think I'd have to look at it and break it down to be able to say with authority.
Yes.
I think it was both, I think it was both, just what Will was doing around the set. But, Walken just killed it.
Right.
I mean, it was amazing.
One of the best.
Yeah.
Were you also in the Colonel Angus sketch as well with Christopher Walken as well.
That's right.
Now I need to dance around the subject a little bit here on this live broadcast.
Sure.
Were you concerned at all about that episode sketch?
No.
Not at all?
No. I mean, if the censors hadn't said anything about it after the table read, and then, we did the dress rehearsal and nothing. And so.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And then you're like, we're in the clear. Were you thinking that we're never going to get this one on the air?
Oh, no. I felt pretty confident that it was okay because Tina wrote it and it was, the way she crafted it and, how could anybody say anything about it,
Did you ever break? Weren't you known as like the Iceman or something like that on Saturday Night Live? Like you never broke, correct?
I don't think so. I don't think I did.
If you're not breaking in the Colonel Angus or the recording art, was recording studio?
Recording studio, yes. You can call it the cowbell.
The cowbell sketch. If you're not cracking up in those, you're never going to break in that.
I tried not to. I tried to be in the moment, as that character, and I think some people probably had a little more fun in the moment than I did, but I tried to hold it together.
Who's the one who was easiest though to break?
Jimmy and Horatio when they were together, especially.
Jimmy Fallon for sure.
Yeah, they would really crack each other up. Yeah.
But you never want. I mean, you just asked me in my ear, how do you do that sort of thing? It's kind of like you can't cheer in the press box. Is the only thing that I can equate to anything that would come with what I do. Is that you're not allowed to, scream or yell in the press box.
And also just having no joy inside. That helps.
Being a hollow shell of a man? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. That's the discovery. That's the real secret to my not breaking.
You're a hollow shell of a man.
Well, it's just blackness in there.
Yeah, understood.
Pure darkness.
Chris Parnell here on the Rich Eisen Show. Why are you not on Twitter or Instagram social media? Why are you not on there, Chris?
I barely keep up with emails.
Okay.
And when all these other things came along, it's just like, oh, that's... it started with Facebook, and it's like, I don't want that responsibility.
Okay.
And then same with Twitter and all of it. It's just like, I don't,
So, but you have been on Twitter.
No.
Never.
No.
Never once.
Never once.
Okay.
No. I don't have a Twitter account.
You never on any social media at all?
I've got a secret Facebook account that I can go and look at my family members.
You're a Looky Loo or something
I'm a
like
Looky
that.
Loo every now and then. Like twice a year maybe.
Why was I told that you and Larry King got into a beef? Is that a true story?
That's
a false story? Okay.
That's not
just
true.
trying to figure that out.
No.
Now, that's an odd thing for me to bring up then.
Trying to start a rumor here?
No,
Rich?
well, I mean, if Ted Danson's coming back to do a 30 Rock, I can just pretty much do all that. How did you get involved in the Seinfeld episode of that? You did one Seinfeld episode. We talked about it earlier, the butter shave episode.
Yeah. I mean, I hadn't been in L.A. that long, and I don't honestly know. I started to get little guest star parts in different sitcoms, and I think I had a manager and an agent by that point. And I think I just went in and auditioned for it.
And just got the gig. And what was it like being on the set? Was it the very end? It was the last season of Seinfeld when you were there.
Oh, was it?
Yes,
I didn't realize that.
I know your whole life, Chris. Even including that beef with Larry King you think you didn't have.
That's terrifying, right? Yeah, it was cool. It was cool to be in I guess it was the green room where everybody was kind of hanging out, and Jerry Seinfeld was working on his lines with somebody, and I mean, it was awesome to be a part of that unbelievable show.
And now you're part of Rick and Morty on Adult Swim. Season 4 just premiered 11:30 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. Why do you think this show works in the way it does, Chris?
Well, it's the writing. It's so much of it, and then. They take so much time to craft each script. I mean, that's why there's so many delays and there's so many, long hiatuses because Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland really just want to get it right. And they've put together an amazing team of writers. And then Justin is pretty brilliant as Rick and Morty, you know. So you got this family unit, which gives it some sense of groundedness and reality.
Yes.
And then they can just go anywhere and do anything with the setup. With a portal gun, they can go into any dimension. They can fly anywhere in the universe in Rick's spaceship. And it's I don't know. It's a brilliant premise, and they write it really well.
And does it ever confuse you when you're just reading it on the page and you need to? Because I'm imagining. It takes months for something like this to actually be put together, right?
I think so, yeah.
So you just say your words and you're just, then you just go about your business being Chris Parnell.
Yeah, I can't claim any responsibility for any of the creative aspects of the show other than what my voice does on it. But Yeah, it's amazing.
It is great.
And yes, it is confusing sometimes. But usually it's laid out clearly enough on the page that I can follow it. And then sometimes I'll think, though, man, the animators have really got their work cut out for them with this one, because it's going to have 64 TV screens, different realities going on at once sometimes, and
right,
it's massive.
And how do we know how many more seasons of this are going to be made? Are we made of this?
Happily, Adult Swim ordered 70 episodes, so I think that includes the
5 right
the 5 now, and then the 5 that'll come in the second half of season 4.
Right.
And then multiple seasons after that.
Keep going, man.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
It is.
Last one for you. From your entire characters that you've played, what is your favorite? Voices or people that you've imitated or anything? Like, who was your favorite that you did, Chris?
I'd probably have to say Dr. Spichemin. Yeah, that was pretty amazing. Although Fred Shea, I played a character named Fred Shea with Anna Gasteyer, opposite Anna Gasteyer, on a ABC show called Suburgatory, and that was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. That was pretty great. Just the cast was awesome, and it was a fun role.
But Dr. Spichemin is in the clubhouse right now.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Yeah. Hey, Chris, thanks for coming on. Let's not do 4 years, okay?
Let's not, Rich.
Okay, let's not, because in the segment that we're going to do television only next, play for Chris the drop. You kindly did a drop for us that we've been using every single week when Chris Brockman over there provides, I guess you've been using air quotes a lot during this conversation, so let me use it right here. Gambling advice. Okay. No offense, Chris.
Yeah.
No offense.
Over 50%.
Well, our phrase, it's called Sneaky Good Games with Chris Brockman.
Okay.
And, we were thinking it's better than a coin flip. What should we use for it? But this is what we came up with, and you nailed, like, we do this every single week here on the Rich Eisen Show. Hit it for him.
Here's Chris Brockman with Sneaky Good Games. Contests likely to surprise you with their heretofore undisclosed competitive value.
It's very stupid.
Every week. But give him a round of applause, at the very least. I mean... And the royalty checks must have gotten lost in the mail. Sorry to say.
That's okay. I figure I'll collect them on my way out, right?
On the way out the door. Well, we have a nice parting gift for you. That mug. That mug is yours to keep.
Delightful.
It's a nice parting gift for you.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live, or download the Rich Eisen Show app.